What's up, everybody, and welcome to Clubit TV, episode 3. I'm Roger Knowles, and welcome to the show where we talk about video games, movies, and much, much more geekiness to fill you in from what's happened in the last week. Of course, I'm trying not to be distracted. I am not on my own. I'm joined by Ed from GameHog.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ed from GameHog. How are we all? Have we all been well this week? It's been a whole week since we've last done one of these shows, but boy, I'm excited to get in and chat with my good old pals Luke and James, and of course Roger as well.
It's come around really quickly this week. I feel like
it has come around really quickly. In fact, it came around so quickly I wasn't even prepared. So let's see how it goes.
Just like Christmas.
Exactly.
And we're also joined by Luke from Luke and James Plays.
Hi! I'm a part of a duo. There's another half of me on the screen somewhere.
Just next to you, but not in the same room, we also have James from Luke and James Plays.
Hi!
Hey!
I'm the other one.
Some boys.
We're males.
Guys, it's good to be back.
Well.
It's, like I said, a week since the last one we did, but obviously it's been nearly over 2 months since we had you guys on the show.
Yes,
It's been a long time.
crew reunited. The pilot crew.
Pilot crew.
Pilot crew.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for joining me. We're back. We're going to be talking about quite a few different things on the live stream. We're going to be talking about some video games, a little bit of Star Wars. Also got a competition that we're going to do. We're going to be giving away. This is where Ed's going to be like, haha. We're going to be giving away Dueled Master Starter Deck to play.
Oh,
Ed,
what is that?
You know about this, don't you, Ed?
I do.
Please
So
tell
this,
me
this
about
was
it.
a weird coincidence that happened to me regarding Clubit, the show that we are doing this for. So I recently did a video on my channel called Do You Remember Duel Masters? It's part of a new series I'm doing about nostalgia. And Duel Masters was a series very close to my heart and a card game I adored. And I went online to try and find some, and they're really, really hard to find these days. But the one place that I bought them from on Amazon when I was buying it said Clubit Retail. And I just thought, like, what? It's the weirdest coincidence in the world that the one place I can find in the UK that manages to sell these 2-player starter decks that come with a booster pack was through Clubit. It's mad. I'm really, really
I got to admit, when you
excited
messaged
because
me, I think it was next morning after last week's live stream, and I was like, no fucking way, really?
Yeah, then you sent me a picture, like, look what they've just sent me to give away. And I'm like, I must have it.
So obviously
You all
that
came
is...
the same day then, didn't it?
That'll be part of the competition. We're giving away some plushies. I've got a couple of them here, but there's others on the store as well, which I'm sure Club will throw into the prize as well. We've also got the notepad, but also we're going to be giving away a £10 voucher for either PSN, Xbox, or Steam. And whoever wins, it's entirely up to you, whichever platform or store you want it for. So basically, all you need to do is enter is literally comment down below, and you're instantly entered the competition. It's really, really simple. So just comment and done. So there we go. So I'm going to try and keep them there. Hopefully you can just see them. They're a little bit out of shot, but we'll keep them there.
Just comment what you think the average length of a giraffe's neck is. And then the competition. Why not?
I'm glad you went for neck. I'm glad you went for neck.
You know what?
I'm gonna
for
go...
half a second I was thinking, shit.
Yeah, I went Jim. Come on. Why
I'm
you
gonna
go?
go 3.4 meters.
Is that your guess?
Well, but the average size of an elephant, of a giraffe's neck.
Yeah, he almost said something else again. He said the average size of an elephant's
Trying to catch him
giraffe's
out.
neck.
Trying to catch him.
Oh my god. So we're back. But yeah, like Ed said, you did Do You Remember video, which was on Duel Masters.
I did.
Now, just want to say, fucking awesome video. When it got released, I was watching it and I was just giggling to myself when you do when you're talking about it, and then my girlfriend, what are you laughing at? And I showed her, and she watched it all. She didn't listen. She's the most ungeekiest person you'll probably have met, right? And she watched it from start to finish. And she said that was awesome. I was like,
really?
There you go.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's it. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind. It's a video that I've been planning for a long time, and it's a series I've been wanting to revisit in some form, especially on a platform like GameHog. And it's nice to have been able to spend the time reviewing the series and reviewing the card game, playing some of the old games, and then writing the script, spending ages making sure that was right, running it by people like Isla McTeer, who I look up to massively for things like scripted videos, because she's recently been doing loads of short form content about anime that's scripted and delivered beautifully. And also there's a guy called Billiam on the YouTubes who
I've checked that out a little bit.
And he's really, really great. And he does the same kind of videos that I do, but about things like Digimon. He actually did one on Dungeon Dice Monsters just the other day. That's his most recent video. And I was so infatuated by his videos that he was a massive inspiration for this new series. And I followed him last night on Twitter and tweeted about him and tweeted one of his Digimon videos that's really, really good. And he responded going, "Oh, thank you. That's really kind." And then followed me back. And I'm really, really chuffed by that. That means a lot to me. It was like a little bit of a fan moment where I went like, yay!
No, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed watching it, actually, because I'd heard of Jewel Monster. I've never played it. I'd seen, like, the cartoon around.
Well, it's a rip-off of Magic the Gathering, but it was made by the same people who do Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast. And, well, they bought the license for it from the Japanese people so that they could do it internationally. And they basically tried to use it as a kind of bridge because it was a bit more adult Magic the Gathering. So they tried to get kids into Magic the Gathering via Duel Masters in a way. And it kind of didn't work because people became therefore fond of Duel Masters or saw through Duel Masters as an attempt on Yu-Gi-Oh! And most people just preferred Yu-Gi-Oh! Or, at a push, Pokemon trading card games. So Duel Masters just never really took off. In some places like Germany, it was popular. It was more popular than Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while. So, it changes in every market that you go to. But I loved it. And I'm really happy to bring it back. And I'm actually going to take some cards to MCM Comic-Con so that I can maybe play with some people, like teach some people. Because we play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! There. So I want to teach some people Duel Masters. It might be quite fun.
I'm going to have to come with you guys to an MCM Comic-Con because,
we'll come in October.
I've never been.
You really need to. Yeah.
I'm on holiday. I'm actually in Wales.
Oh no. Well, May's the best one. In fairness,
I will get that hopefully sorted out well in advance. I'll definitely come to you guys. That'll be amazing. You can look after me. I'll be like,
oh, we will do. Yeah.
Around our area, mate.
Leave me tied up in a dumpster somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's after.
Where's Roger?
That's where I sleep.
Anyway, guys, Luke and James, guys, what have you been up to recently then over on your channel?
We've just been doing some live streams and stuff. We recently released our Comic-Con announcement video, which people really enjoyed because we just randomly did some comical video to announce it, which
totally improvised.
Yeah,
really
random, but came out really well.
Seen the show.
Which was really good.
Oh,
Really not.
It's business.
It's just called business. Yeah,
Business announcement.
It's really funny, Roger.
People have really enjoyed it. Like considering we literally just sat down in front of the computer and I was like, I have this random idea, but we're just gonna wing it. It came out fantastic, and yeah, people really enjoyed it as well, which was nice. So
you've also got a 24-hour live stream coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we're going to hit 24 hours because I'm calling it a marathon stream. So I'm basically just going to go as long as I can. But yeah, we're going to do that.
You
on
could easily
Friday.
do
Pussy. Pussy. Come to the GameHog 24 hours on the 19th to get 24 hours of straight content, unless my internet gives out.
Just you rambling on about Duel Masters.
For
yeah.
24 hours of Duel Masters.
On the 12th, I'm going to be doing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 all day. So
Hopefully I'll be able to jump in with
it's
you.
going to be awesome. We're going to do some Blackout. We're going to do some zombies. We're going to do some multiplayer. Yeah, it's going to be really good fun. So anyone that wants to come and join me, if you've got the game, I'm going to be totally open for you to come and join me. And
I'll be
stuff
there.
like that. So
I've got the day off work.
I'll come and join you.
I'll book the day off.
What
gonna
an
be really cool.
interesting segue into our first topic.
Ed,
Wow.
I love you. Seriously, you just boom in straight. You did that last week as well. Seriously, amazing, man.
I did. It's because people keep setting it up. You set them up, I knock them down.
It's like we know what we're doing. It's weird, isn't it?
We are so in sync.
Crazy.
So, first up, our first topic of today. Seeing that it's out on Friday, even though some retailers are releasing it actually tomorrow.
They are.
Yeah.
Call of
Game are
Duty
doing it
Black
sick.
Ops 4. So, with the new Battle Royale mode, Blackout. Just out, actually, I haven't asked you guys, actually. Who played the beta for Black Ops?
Me.
Oh, you guys. Oh, great.
I
Like
played
we raised
it.
our hands.
I'm glad, because I can throw the questions out to you guys, and I don't have to say anything.
Did Ed play it? Ed, did you play it? Sorry.
I did.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
played it with
Sorry.
me as well momentarily.
All right. Sorry. My bad.
So, obviously, that's going to be the major feature of this year's Call of Duty. in your honest opinion, in comparison to other battle royale games that are currently out on the market, how do you think Activision has done with their version? Ed.
Can I take?
Oh, James,
Ed,
go on, James, you go first.
No.
I'm pointing.
Let Ed go.
You're up on Discord, but you're actually down there on the actual live stream.
Jim, I'll let you take it first because you wanted to jump in. You go. Yeah.
I think they've done fantastically well. There's some teething problems, but it's mainly just teething problems. There's nothing major, nothing game ruining. Like literally, they could have released it as it was in the beta, and it would have done fantastically well. They've managed to keep, because Call of Duty is obviously very different from all other FPSs. It's very fluid, it's very fast, it's very quick. It's very different from stuff like Counter-Strike and other battle royale games. But they've managed to make a map as big as they have and still keep that fast-paced fluidity. And they've done so well with that. And that was my major concern. Is obviously Call of Duty is a very fast-paced game. Going into Battle Royale, I was concerned that it was going to go very, very slow and it just wasn't going to work in the realm of Call of Duty. And they've managed to keep that fast-paced fluidity, and it's just absolutely amazed me.
I'm
really
putting my
enjoyed
hand
it.
on my heart. I haven't even really seen any gameplay footage of the Battle Royale mode. At least I think with the way that everything obviously was happening with Clubit and getting this show together and everything, it kind of came out of the moment, the beta, where it was all like, my life was just like intense work.
Yeah.
So I kind of missed that. So like with collection of items and weapons, for someone like me who hasn't seen anything, how does it compare to like something like Fortnite?
It's virtually identical.
Yeah.
Fortnite's the exception because you run into those.
Well, it's not really identical.
Well, it's not.
Fortnite has
I mean,
rarity of
so Fortnite was a bad example, but like to PUBG, it's virtually identical.
Yeah.
So you still
look again, it's very different.
No.
There's pros and pluses to it. The problem is the main thing with that is obviously it puts up a lot of stuff on screen at once. It doesn't show the damage varieties of the weapons, so you don't know whether the gun you're about to pick up does more damage than the one you've already got. It doesn't tell you whether it's like how ranged it is or anything like that. So again, that's an issue because you need to spend a lot more time in the menu just going through things to try and figure out. So very quickly transfer stuff. The one good thing that it does have, though, is that if you pick up like a muzzle brake, it automatically goes onto the gun, whereas obviously PUBG doesn't do that. So, but they have said in a few tweets that they have made a fast-acting inventory system to improve it and stuff like that. So they have combated that, but at the moment in the beta, it just wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Ed, what did you think then to the beta and the Battle Royale?
For me, Call of Duty, whilst it has its stigma, obviously are very good at making shooting games. The one way you can extrapolate that even further to make it popular with a modern audience is by putting in a Battle Royale mode. And it's not hard to do. And they made a very nice detailed map with lots of different areas in it, with it's got loads of verticality, as it were. You know, it's very, very diverse map, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's very simple to get into. It has its intricacies, like Jim did mention, but generally, I think it's a very, very strong battle royale. There are quite a few reasons why I've become uninterested in things like PUBG, and that mostly because it's buggy, not because of the game type. So if Call of Duty can win my heart over in that way and not be bugged up the arse,
it should be bug free. If you, I mean, it's a AAA title, so it should be.
Doesn't it have a day one patch?
50 gig.
50 gig.
Yes. This is I think there was information released in the last 48 hours. So basically there's a 50 gig patch, day one patch update for if you wish to play so
the multiplayer.
The multiplayer. So if you put the disc in, you only need to get to 30% installation, and then you can actually play the Battle Royale mode.
While it's installing the rest.
It's installing. So it's like 30%. So
what is the rest?
It's the zombies, the multiplayer.
Can I just install the blackout mode?
No.
But you can play it early while it's installing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't want to download zombies and all that. I just want blackout mode.
Oh, it's just us.
Do you want to pay?
Call of Duty are good with that, and they were good at going, oh, you want the single player? Here's the single player separate to the multiplayer sometimes, or here's zombies separate.
Ed, are you saying you want to pay £50 for the blackout?
No, I pay £23 sterling.
Yeah, but currently the price is say 50.
Yeah.
No. Right.
I have to
I don't
admit,
want it
the
for that
only
price.
aspect of the Call of Duty game I'm interested in is the Battle Royale. And I think, James, I mentioned this to you actually just the other night. Like, it would be nice if it was just separate on its own.
The thing, the
It will
thing
be.
is,
It will be.
it will eventually come out separate. I have no doubt about that. But the two things you're not going to please everybody by releasing it separately. The major issue is obviously everyone that's going to buy it on release. The same someone like me that's very interested in playing both the multiplayer and the zombies as well. I would have to go because they wouldn't discount the game. So say they take Blackout out, I would still be paying $49.99 for the main game. Then I'd have to fork out another 20 odd quid for Blackout.
It would just be DLC.
So for someone like me, I'd end up paying more money. But for someone like Ed, yes, it would work out more.
I guess since one way
for
or
him,
another, Activision would find more of a way to get more money.
So it's either please the people that just want Blackout, or please the people that just want it all. So it's
no. I don't mind buying it. It's installing it all. I don't want to.
Right. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
I want that as a separate entity for me to install.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I don't want zombies.
The thing is, though, they're integrated. So back when you used to be able to do that, install them separately, but this time it's all integrated. So your character is the same across multiplayer, zombies, and battle royale. So now they all need to be able to work together and talk to each other and stuff like that. So they can't be separate entities now, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Again, the pro of it is everything is seamless. So my character will be the same in zombies as it is in multiplayer, but obviously you have to install everything.
It wouldn't surprise me, depending on how popular it obviously is, which it will be, that they would implement a system like that for you just to say, well, I just want this bit. I don't want the rest of it.
They will release Blackout on its own, 100%. It was the same as when they released Call of Duty, and then Modern Warfare came with the game. If you pre-ordered it, I think it was, or it came with it. And they were like, "This is never going to be released on its own, etc., etc." But I'd actually spoken to a rep that had been in a game at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, it is getting released on its own. It's just they're keeping it quiet at the moment to boost sales of the game at the moment. If they go, we're selling it separately, everyone would hold off and just buy it separately." So,
Luke, what did you think to the beta?
What from playing it?
Yeah.
I thought.
Jesus Christ.
Have you written it down, boy, or something?
Pardon?
He's building.
You were surprised. Do you know what I'm most excited about for Call of Duty as well? Because when me and him played it, his reaction, he never plays FPS games with me. Like, I'm a huge Battlefield fan, huge COD fan, and he never likes them. He just doesn't get on with them. So the fact that I'm most excited about this is because he's actually so excited about it. Like, it means that I'm going to be able to, again, play a COD game with Luke again. And that hasn't happened in...
I have to admit, that's what it basically is doing. It's
10
appealing
years?
to a much larger audience. So for somebody like myself who... is like, I love Call of Duty. I'm very picky which ones I buy. Like, I love the World War II game. Played obviously a few of the other ones as well, so I do like it. Is this, if I'm going to get into Battle Royale properly, is this probably a good one to maybe step into first and then maybe branch out into other ones? Because I play Fortnite. I'm crap at it. I really am terrible. I am ridiculously terrible.
I still never won by myself.
I've only won once.
It's really difficult to say because every Battle Royale game, even though they look very similar,
are different.
They're entirely different. So
feel different.
It's again, it's like when PUBG first was getting announced, everyone was looking at it and just going, "Oh, it's just another H1Z clone." It's because obviously H1Z1 was the only Battle Royale game really at the time.
King
so
of the Kill.
Yeah, when PUBG got announced and they were showing gameplay footage, everyone was like, "It's literally just a H1Z1 clone, and it's gonna flop and stuff like that." But then once people actually got their hands on it, the difference was monumental. So again, it's very difficult to say just because you like this Battle Royale game, you're gonna like others. So yeah, I wouldn't say just because you like the Call of Duty one, you'd like any others, but I can ultimately say you will enjoy it.
I've got a quick point of bringing, like Roger said, bringing new audiences in. At work, I work in a place with builders, right? So this guy came in and he was super stoked for Call of Duty. He buys them every year, just because he does. And he didn't even know Blackout was a mode in the game. And so I started to be like, "Oh my god, dude, you don't know about this mode?" And I was like, "Sick!" And then I started explaining, it's bunch of old Call of Duty maps smashed into one huge map. And you can run around anywhere. There's helicopters, there's ATVs, there's just guns everywhere. And you literally are thrown out of a helicopter, like Apocalypse Now style, coming over the hill in choppers, throw yourself out, parachute down, grab a weapon, and you've just got to fight survival one, last man standing. Like he was like, "Oh my god, I didn't even know." He's like, "I've already booked a day off anyway," and I was like, "Now you're gonna just. This is a whole new surprise. You didn't even know."
Luke,
You
That's
was gonna
great.
get.
they should just
He
cut
doesn't
that
even know
and put
he's
that as
in-
a trailer. Like, listen, guys, it's this fucking helicopters going over the hill.
Yeah.
Done. Like, everybody like thought.
It's great. And one other point as well is all shooters aim to have shoot mechanics like Call of Duty.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So you've now got Call of Duty going, well, we could do Battle Royale.
Exactly.
And
And
the
the
fact that
epitome
they've
of
already
shooting.
said they're going to be doing like leagues and stuff like that is just.
On the topic of battle royales, have you guys ever heard of Battle Right? It's
Yes.
a game that's sort of like League of Legends / a bit more like World of Warcraft PvP.
Yeah, it is a
currently
MOBA.
They have,
but-
well, yes, yeah, pretty much. It's
The
ostensibly,
battle riot one.
but they've
isn't
now
it?
got a battle royale mode.
They have, yeah.
And that's it's really, really fun. And Yoa
Very good.
was a massive proprietor of that. That was
Proprietor.
really, really fun.
But it's
I'm
either-
gonna try and get into
Yeah,
that.
it's very good though. Yeah, really good. Like the battle riot one is amazing.
I need to buy it and install it. But there's lots of fun battle royale ones, like Cuisine Royale. We got very into for a bit.
They've
That's
just
great.
added a battle pass system as well now.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe we should expand on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the show, or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. What's the end of the show called?
The post
Post-show.
show.
The
Post show.
In the
That's it.
meantime, we'll segue onto Roger's
Yeah.
segue.
So I think that kind of wraps it up really well because, like, I think it'd be interesting to see what happens when it gets released because, like, obviously the servers are going to go boom, it'll go down.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see actually how, like you say, Luke, with the general casual gamer, how they are going to react to it and see how they adapt to the battle royale genre because in essence it's still a fairly new genre.
Yeah.
And this, I would say, is the game that's going to make it more mass market. And
I think
Admittedly,
it's
you
gonna-
can't get more mass market than Fortnite.
No.
I
think it's going to do really well though
That's a good
because of
point.
the
With
map.
kids though.
It's not a brand new map. It's a map made up of all the old maps. So like I was saying to you last night, like literally it doesn't matter where you drop. If you've played Call of Duty before, you're instantly familiar with your surroundings. So like PUBG, I just drop and then I'm lost. Whereas this, you now know instantly where you are and you know your way around that particular section of the map. So it's so
Well,
good
you
for
do.
people that are.
You
Yeah,
do.
you
I
But
do,
most
yeah.
people, I mean, they're very iconic maps. So very iconic.
I'm
They're
looking
not
Well, it
forward to
depends
it.
what they're from.
obscure
Because they might be
ones.
iconic to you, but like I'll jump in there and be just as lost as
Well,
I would.
they're
be
ones
before.
that have been like
You stick with
remade
me, Ed.
and reused.
We'll be
in
lost
Call of
together.
Duties again and
You
again.
and I, Roger,
so-
we'll pair up and do those. It'll be fine.
Back to
Like
back.
John Travolta, just like
We'll
I'll be
do
like-
a Clubit squad stream of it once it's out.
What buttons grenade? Anyway, guys, moving on to our second topic of the live stream. Star Wars live action series details have been released. Now, on the pilot show that we did for Clubit TV, we did talk a little bit about Star Wars and the idea that I think they're saying that they're going to stop a lot of the spin-off movies. Now,
Yeah, which is good.
this is now like they're going to be taking it into a little bit of a new direction with the launch of their Disney streaming service, and they're going to be releasing, obviously, a live-action Star Wars series. And so more information was released. This is from Ars Technica, Samuel Axon. He said, so a little bit of talking here, so I do apologize. I'm going to read this for him. The first details have been revealed about Lucasfilm's live-action Star Wars TV series. We previously knew only that it was coming and that the writer/director Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man and The Jungle Book and Swingers, would executive produce and that it would eventually air on Disney's coming streaming video service. This week, we learned the title, The Mandalorian, and Jon Favreau has posted the first image. If you're watching in the edited version of the show, it'll be showing now. If you listen to the podcast version, you can't see anything.
It's just us.
It's a picture of basically, if you think of Boba Fett, but more grey. Favreau also shared some details about the setting and the subject of the series on Instagram. He posted, after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travails of the lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy far from the authority of the New Republic. Also, with this announcement, obviously, with the title, a little bit of synopsis, and an image, they were also released information about the directors of some of the episodes. I don't know how long, obviously, how long the season's going to be, but here's some of the directors. So they announced that Dave Filoni, who did a lot of the episodes from Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, really, really good. He handled a lot of the Mandalorian story arcs within those series. Deborah Chow, who did some of the episodes of Jessica Jones. Rick, and this is where I'm going to really butcher people's names, so I do apologize. Rick Famuyiwa, who did director some of Dope. Bryce Dallas Howard, a director best known as an actor in Jurassic World. And this is the one that's been bugging me all day. He's the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi. I've literally been reading that name all day.
I haven't listened to a word you've said. I'm so sorry. We've been dicking around, quite literally. But we've just been
I was literally
messing
not
around.
looking at the screen. I'm like, I'm focused.
So, I'm so sorry.
They are some really groovy names. Did you not listen to someone else saying them before?
No, that would have been a
just
sensible
Google
thing.
them.
That
How
would have been
to pronounced.
So obviously loads of new information coming out about this. For me, I am a massive Star Wars nerd. So,
Likewise.
So knowing that they're going to be venturing in something that's going to be to do with Mandalorians is really, really cool. But with like this announcement, Ed, you're a big fan of Star Wars, like you just said. What are your thoughts on this new Star Wars spin-off series?
I think it's good that they're doing a Star Wars spin-off series, and I think it's slightly annoying they've gone for Mandalorians because it's not. There's more interesting things to go over in Star Wars lore. Admittedly, most people don't know about Star Wars lore, so you can't really base it on that. So, will they do it well? Probably.
Will they? Won't they?
I'm sure they'll deliver it well, and I hope it'll be exciting. Disney have the budget to make it really, really good, or at least to pump enough money into it to hopefully make it good. It's got some really notable directors doing it who will hopefully be able to bring a decent vision of it to life. I can't. I'd rather have seen more stuff with ancient Jedi or Sith. I know that sounds
sticking
really
around
cliche.
about that era, but around the films quite a lot.
I want the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I want the history. I want lore kind of stuff. I want stuff that sets up maybe tiny little plot details within the main series. But maybe I'm just being a nerd about it. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to them doing it, and hopefully it'll be good. And hopefully they'll.
Just in case you listen to the audio version, James is trying to be distracting with a baby.
I've been watching.
I want to see how good his concentration is.
I'm a radio professional.
See, I find it really hard to get excited about Star Wars because I'm not like a huge fan of it. So, like, I like it, but I'm not like a huge
because
fan
you're dense
for it.
AF.
Yeah,
Well, no, because I really like it, so I wish I could get more into it. But
I love it. I think it's great. I got so into, honestly, when the 7th film came out, when The Force Awakens came out after that massive hiatus,
Teaser trailer. It was just.
The teaser trailer just sent chills through me when it first went in the cinema. I just flooded with emotion. I just instantly felt overcome. I got teary. I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" And it was just kind of, it was everything I wanted.
It's like childhood coming back.
Last Jedi was, I enjoyed it. It has problems, but you know, everyone has their own version of how many problems it has.
Jim's got problems.
All we know is that J.J. Abrams, who did the first one, is coming back to do the final one. So hopefully we'll stitch it together like the rocky middle of the bridge that it could be, you know? I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. So, Luke, what about yourself?
I like egg. So
good.
So Mandalorian is your thing then?
I'm really keen to see them sort of do more with like people who are like Boba Fett and stuff like that. Because obviously there's not a lot about him really in like sort of mainstream stuff. Is there? So
No.
Not really.
Obviously you can but he's really he's like a lot of people's favorite character. Yeah,
well,
but
only with the power of comics and hindsight, you know.
The PS2 game Bounty Hunter is fantastic.
That was great. That was amazing.
So if they can do something, you know, with a TV show, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I agree with you saying about the spin-off series. I mean, I think maybe they need to do some more meaningful ones.
But maybe this will set them up to do new ones. Maybe they're treading around with stuff.
Is this going to be like a Netflix thing, or
yes,
it's going to be on their streaming service,
right?
Launches.
So which is good
because Disney has their own one.
Netflix under budget projects like this ludicrously. So whilst it's a pain to be like, oh, I use Netflix, it's a good thing it's not on Netflix for the quality of the show.
Yeah.
To be fair though, like Altered Carbon,
they,
Netflix did amazingly well with.
Yeah, but that's one project, like in an ocean. Like there's a few things like Altered Carbon that are really good, but it's in an ocean of tripe.
Yeah,
right, okay.
Super keen.
Underfund this stuff. So you might as well do it through Disney,
out.
who will just throw everything they have at it, and it'll hopefully become iconic.
Personally, for me, like what interests me about the series is obviously once it's a TV series as well, because then it can sort of hopefully delve a little bit more into character. Hopefully, have a similar sort of. Obviously, maybe it won't be as dark and as gory as like Game of Thrones, but that's like it goes very depth into character, and hopefully that's what we'll get from this, and some really interesting stories. Like, because I'm going to nerd out a little bit now. You see, Boba Fett and Jango Fett are actually in canon actual Mandalorians. They are actually just bounty hunters with the armor. So
they've got Mandalorian armor.
Technically, the first time on screen, we're actually, hopefully, this may be an actual Mandalorian. We're presuming, because obviously we still not know a few full information. It could be, I've forgotten the name, but there's a Mandalorian character in the Rebels cartoon series. There's a lot of rumors going around that this character could actually be her. And her search for
flag in Force Awakens, so potentially they've been teasing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how recently they came up with this plan. But...
Again, it could be tying into the movies a little bit. I kind of hope that because it's going to be set on like the outer reaches, if I remember the quote correctly, it's going to be set out the way. It's not. We're not going to have interference with like Luke or any of the other film iconic characters, or really any mentions of them, because the galaxy's fucking huge. We don't need them. And let's actually see some stories from like a lone gunslinger who's obviously got his own agenda. That would, or her own agenda. That would be really interesting, and seeing a different side to it. That's what I did like a little bit about the Han Solo film, where
wasn't Rogue One a bit like that?
Yes, but again, it still tied it very much in with the main characters. And like I say, Han Solo did that as well, but it did show a little bit of the underbelly of the world, like I'd say with Rogue One, like you say, where it showed you, I believe it was like Coruscant or one of the built-up cities, planets right at the beginning. Go on, Ed. Sorry, go ahead.
Controversial opinion. I don't think Rogue One is a good film. I think that Rogue One should have been this series that they're doing. I don't think you can expect people to care about the suicide mission to get the Death Star plans within
Well, maybe if it was the first film you watched.
No, but it's an hour and but realistically, it's
like
not.
If you haven't watched any of the others.
Yeah, but realistically, it's not, and so you have to place it in where it is. Like you watch this film as part of an anthology after you've seen everything else. The kind of story that it's telling deserved to be told over the space and pacing of a series. Mm-hmm. So Death Note is a great example of an adaptation of something long with pacing that, when crammed down, doesn't work. And I felt that Rogue One was what had really sensible ideas and could have been very emotive. But I'm expected to care about these really rubber band characters within an hour and a half.
Yeah, you don't have time to get attached. Yeah.
And then you go, I don't really care. I've forgotten their names. I can only tell you
I really, really enjoyed Rogue One as a story, but I have to admit, like you say, I don't think I could actually name any of the.
There's so many pointless characters. There's so many bits that don't make sense. That it's kind of it deserved to be spread out and paced out in a series. And I think this was a bit short-sighted of them, because clearly they went, everyone loves Star Wars, quick, money into Star Wars, let's put out a film every year. And then Solo did badly, and then they went, what are we doing? And then stopped that. I think if they didn't have that initial greed, they would have put that thought in and then would have done this now and would have made.
I think the Han Solo like film sequels should be in this format, should be in this sort of style, like episodic, because I think they would work better, because I really enjoyed the Solo film. I like the character. I want to see more Han Solo and Chewie stories now. Like, I really want to see what they get up to, like doing smuggling runs and getting themselves into trouble. I loved the Lando character in the Han Solo film. It was played brilliantly. So I'd like to see stories about him, but in this sort of streaming service format. I think it would work really well. There is also rumors, taking it away from Star Wars for a second, that they may be doing some superhero series as well, following maybe Hawkeye, so some of the other ones and things like that. Which
official Disney ones.
Yes. So they're basically on the streaming service. So Scarlet Witch, is that the right word? The right character's name?
Yeah.
They may be doing her character possibly as a series as well. And there is
You mean Black Widow or Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch, definitely Scarlet Witch. And also a Loki series as well. So that's interesting.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Because, like, in the end, if Disney can put the budget in and really sort of create some interesting stories and not have them in such a big spectacular film, but still have some really great moments, I'm interested in absorbing those forms of content like that. If that makes sense. I feel like I'm waffling.
I think they should make an X-Men. I think they should make X-Men a TV series.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, but that's down to Sony, isn't it?
No,
but I think that would be the
that's
best way
owned
of
by
doing
Fox. X-Men is
is it
bought by
Fox?
Disney? Yeah. But yeah, so wrapping it all together, so I'm interested to see what's more. I want to know, is this really stepping away as much as possible from the movies? I know it's set in the era of the films, but I want to see where it's going to be going and what sort of tone the series is going to be in, because I think if they did just make it just a little bit darker, that would be absolutely awesome. I'd be up for that. Obviously, it's going to make it child-friendly. That's, I'm presuming, where they will go, but if they could just skate that line, I'd be well up for that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Big time.
So, moving on to our third and last topic of the live stream. So, this actually... Put your hands up if you own a Nintendo Switch.
Yoy!
Yeah, so we're all...
It's my favourite console ever.
So, some interesting information came out just the other day. And I've got an article here from IGN written by Luke Riley. Nintendo
Is it real, though?
Well... It's on IGN. It's a real article.
Take it from someone else.
It's a real article. We'll blame them if it's wrong. So, Nintendo is planning to release a new version of the Switch to maintain the console's sales momentum, according to a new report from Wall Street Journal Japan. The unofficial report cites suppliers and others with direct knowledge of the plan as sources. WSJ Japan's sources reportedly told the publication that there are active discussions about a new hardware and software functions and the costs to implement them, including upgrading the system's low-end LCD display. The sources also indicated the new Switch could arrive in the second half of 2019.
It's a way off.
So still a little way off.
Well,
about a year away.
Not that far off. Yeah.
About a year
Well,
away.
it is.
The thing is, what I would like to know is it worth me buying a new Switch just because it has a better screen when I can plug it into a TV and get 1080p? Like,
well, that's like asking, is it worth getting the new 3DS XL or the new 2DS XL? Like, virtually identical. I'm sure there is one benefit to the other, but ultimately it's the same experience. Because I've been asking the same thing. Are they going to do a bit bigger display, or are they going to have anything else? Is it going to be slightly more powerful? Is it like a PS4 Pro?
if they move the charging port, I'll buy it instantly.
Where would you put it? Top?
They could add two. They could have two of it. They had two charging ports, one at the side or one at the top and one on the bottom. So
Do you know what I don't like is when I put my headphones in, it's actually in the top, and then it sort of I have to feed it round the back. Like, it's only a little teething problem, but it's like because then it sort of.
But
just
then
feels...
it dangles in the way otherwise.
But surely when it's
underneath.
it's in the dock, it doesn't matter what way up it is. So if they put the charging port in the top, who gives a shit if I have to put my Switch in upside down into the dock? Why does that matter? I'm not looking at the screen.
If they did that, that would be sensible.
So
Yeah, but the bits would slide down.
I'll put it upside down and done.
If you put it in upside down, these come out this way.
No, the Joy-Cons lock. You have to push the button to get them out.
Yeah, but you can't get them out if it's this way.
Hit the desk, whatever you've got it on, Starling.
I'm
Take
just
them
saying.
off before you put it in there.
I think they're kind of expecting you to have common sense. Yeah.
Take them off.
Their idea is this.
Because there's so many occasions when that charging port winds me the hell up.
I got to have the proper Nintendo Switch like TV advert experience with it the other day. I was on a very long train journey from High Wycombe with my brother, and I had my Switch. So I popped it on the little table between us, handed him one of the little controllers, and we raced for, half an hour. It was great. That's exactly what I want.
That conveys the magic of the Switch to anybody. As soon as you
That's
plonk
it.
the screen down, hand them another Joy-Con, they're like, "Oh my god, I need one of these." I did it on the
It's not
plane with.
even about balancing it. It has a little handstand. Like, it's just
admittedly,
great.
that is the one thing I don't like about the Switch is actually the kickstand. I struggle. I have a really bad habit. I bite my nails, and I can't actually get the kickstand out. So I actually use
a butter knife.
I use this now to actually.
Those are good. Yeah.
Plus, it's just I find I'm always a bit worried about breaking the kickstand as well. I'm always a bit.
It comes off anyway. So
I'll just say, RX. I'm always a bit worried about it. I'm always like, I think something like that maybe implemented could be designed a little bit better. I feel
I pulled mine off dozens of times. So yeah,
I'm careful with my belongings.
Oh dear.
So is there any features that because you guys are like the same as myself, we're early adopters of the console. We've got it fairly obviously. How recent to launch did you get yours?
Launch.
I got it on the day.
Oh right.
Same.
Yeah. I was a little bit time after that. How do you feel about doing a new version of the Switch within this time frame?
I think it's a bit premature to do a brand new one. It came out a year ago. It'll be admittedly 2.5 years from launch.
It'll be a revised.
See, I disagree. I think because obviously Nintendo has always had rocky starts. Like they released the Wii U expecting it to do amazingly well, and it dived. So when they were taking such a chance with a new console in this way, because let's admit it was such a weird console. As in, like, you can now co-op wherever you go, etc. Like, I think they were really hesitant on making a super expensive version of it for it then to flop again. So now they've released it and they've gone, wow, yeah, people actually love this. They're prepared to now put a lot more development into it to make it better. I'm all for that because it's a fantastic console as it is anyway, but there are obviously some flaws. So if they're prepared to put development and time and money into that to improve it, then I'm more than happy for that to be now. I'd rather it was sooner than later because say they do it in 2 years' time, all of the best games that are going to be out, I'm now going to go, well, they've brought out a new version of it, but all the games that I ever played are like 2 years old now, so what's the point? I'd rather they do it now than later.
So obviously, you've all said like some of the functionality you would like, What some of the functionalities do you think they will implement if they do change anything major at all with this new version of it? Is there anything that you probably would put your money on that they're going to add to the new system?
They're going to change the kickstand 100%, I think.
I don't know. I don't know what needed improving.
There's only
I
one
think they're going to add. I think
storage.
they may add 2 rather than 1. Storage is a definite. Yeah.
Out of the box.
Battery.
Yeah.
Battery
They're like actually thinking about it, they're quite obvious obviously changes that you would implement, whether it be mobile phones or any other devices, which obviously
it's the same thing.
I think they would do their best to make it a bit lighter as well.
So they're going to improve the screen. That is one aspect they're going to be improving. But the one thing that I'm surprised you guys have been because I had it in the back of my mind. I thought one of you guys would say it would be to input something that actually would include voice chat and would actually work.
Isn't that just the software?
Yeah.
It already works. Fortnite.
No, you have to have it on your phone and stuff like that. You can plug a headset into it.
If you plug it in, you can just do it in the lobby. And then, so
a software
is doable. So yeah, like Luke says, it's kind of software dependent. So
you could still do it
from the inside.
Yeah.
You plug your headphones in. They have the mic on.
It works in the Fortnite Switch version. It should work in anything else.
The one main thing I know they will change is the heat sinking of the console, because I don't know if you knew, but there was a problem with like the console itself cracking.
Oh right.
Mainly around the heat vents and down the right hand side of the console. Like if you Google it, you can find where the plastic has actually cracked. Where people that primarily play it in the docked position, the heat is getting so intense that it's cracking the plastic. Because it's making the plastic really brittle. So like one guy he docked it the day he got it and never taken it out. And he went on holiday, so he took it out and then noticed there was a massive crack right down the whole length of the back of the Switch, where basically the heat had cracked it. Yeah, so there is a problem there as it's heating up and then cooling, it's cracking. So I think again they will have to.
That could just be a problem with that one, though. That might not be.
Well, it's happening. It happened to quite a number of them. So.
It's
But
just
only mainly in
extreme
docks.
circumstances of regular, solely docked use
Yeah.
for like a year. That makes sense.
So I think it's more the plastic that they used because again there was an issue with like when they put the sticker wraps on the consoles, it was ruining the plastic.
Also,
Yeah,
they
so-
warp.
Yeah, and the screen is plastic as well. That's really strange that I think that they went for a plastic screen. It's not glass,
so it
so
can
it
be touched.
scratches so easy. But yeah, but phones are glass and.
I know, but I think it was to reduce.
But
cost.
again, reduce
less
cost. Yeah,
breaking.
so I think the more expensive model will have a glass screen.
It will be interesting to see what sort of, if they do make any major changes to it, or like what I'd said, maybe increase just battery capability, memory, very much like obviously what consoles do now, where they release like the 1 terabyte version, and they obviously with those new releases they do change some of the internal components because they become cheaper and
they'll probably
alternatives.
I'm thinking maybe they'll do things maybe like add in 4G capability or 5G or something like that maybe.
That'd be good.
New
If
kind
they
of
added a SIM tray, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's might got Bluetooth 2 in it, put Bluetooth 3.
Which isn't impossible
crap
because
like that.
the PS Vita had a version of that. It had a Wi-Fi version and a 3G version.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to say that no one would ever do that because Sony did it, so that you could buy either the Wi-Fi or the 3G version, and it worked really well. I had the.
It might have a
3G
SIM
version
port
and-
in it. Something maybe, who knows? You can just whack your phone one in there.
Well, with that one, I think if I remember rightly, with the Vita, it was a service that you paid for, like a monthly service, like Xbox Live
Yeah.
or PlayStation Network. So you got a certain amount of I can't remember exactly how it worked. It was either a SIM or it was
like a SIM service because they announced the Vita and it was I believe it was at E3. They announced the network that it was tied to, and the whole audience in the whole of the place went,
Oh yeah.
"Oh." And it was like you can see the guy on stage like, oh crap. It's like no. But no, it'd be interesting to see what system to implement. I kind of, as much as obviously like you guys, I got one early. I've enjoyed my Switch. I'm still finding that I keep saying it. I'm still trying to look for that one game that'll get me, and I do think it's going to be Pokemon. But I don't mind them doing a new version as long as it's obviously, like I say, it's an improvement, it's a step up, and it's just obviously a continuation of what Nintendo do. They did this with the 3DS, or DS, 3DS. Just kept on going on and on, and improving things as they go. It's no real different, I guess, to like PlayStation 4 and Xbox releasing newer versions. I just kind of hope they just sort of iron out some of the problems of what they got with the first version.
Thinking of saying Pokemon there, Roger. New hardware with software, so they'll do like a full-on Pokemon version. I know they're doing it with Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, the little dock.
With the new game that's coming out next year.
So yeah, if they are going to redesign it, it would make sense that they do it with the new gen Pokemon. Is it going to be? Do you know when it is, Ed? Is it
it's a brand new gen.
2019.
2019. So that could maybe they'll tie in with that maybe.
Yeah, I could see that actually. Like I say, if it's going to be rumored to be released
that would make
late
sense.
2019, that would probably tie in with, I presume, when Pokemon would be released just before Christmas.
That would probably be
All
one
new
of
sales
the
for
biggest
Christmas,
launches.
and Nintendo will be earning even more money
That'd
to
be
put
such
into their
a good
vault.
push for the new console. Yeah. Also, it might drive the price of the original one down.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, do you know the one thing that's making me nervous is that you can't transfer your game console purchases currently already on a Switch. So if I lose my Switch or it gets nicked and I take mine out along with me and then I buy a new one, that's hundreds of pounds gone.
Yeah, that
is ridiculous.
So how are they going to unless you change that, you're not convincing me to
So
buy
what if I sign into my Nintendo eShop, it will say I haven't bought it? Wow.
It's console.
Even with the cloud saves?
Yeah, tied to the console, yeah.
It's shit.
Wow.
It's a really crap
They need to sort that out.
So I'd
They
have
need
to
to
buy
fix
the game.
that before releasing their new
Wow,
console.
okay. Knowing that, I'm now not going to buy digital games anymore.
Well,
like big ones. Like I bought Mario Party digitally.
Well,
So if I lose my
I
Switch,
buy
that's
every
50
game
quid.
that I adore. I buy digitally because my thinking is, well, I'm never going to replace this, so I want it on there.
Yeah.
I want it so I can have it ready to go whenever.
Yeah, well, screw that then. Yeah, I wish I'd bought it
I think
on.
for something like that,
now.
Nintendo really need to pull the finger out, because if they've released now their online service and they've got that going, I think they need to start looking to systems like this where it is tied to your account, because that just seems.
Well, they have to.
That's such a Stone Age way of doing it.
Console, they have to, because otherwise, everyone who's bought the Switch now,
buy
not
another
expecting a new one to be released, will go. Well, then no. So
Yeah.
you have to convince old Switch people and
To
people
upgrade.
who haven't bought a Switch at all.
I really didn't know that.
yeah, it's really bad. It's a really terrible decision. So I'm really nervous about losing my Switch because if it ever happens, I mean, admittedly,
It's a portable device. So how can you go to like not make that a thing?
I might go out. So yeah, it boggles the
brain. Mine goes everywhere with me as well.
Yeah. Let us know down in the comments, guys, whether or not you've actually purchased a Switch, and would you be willing to sort of hold out till late 2019 to see if you maybe get the 2.0 version.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't got one now, you might as well wait. I mean,
well, I guess so. Yeah. Well, it's still 12 months away, so there's still a lot of time to go. Obviously, we've got Pokemon coming out this next month. Is it next month it's coming out?
Yeah, November.
So I think that's going to obviously drive a lot of sales. Whether or not there is going to be a new Nintendo Switch coming out, I think there's going to be a lot of Switches sold over that time period. But anyway, guys, I think that's a good point to wrap up the last topic.
Sure.
I say if we're all on Nintendo Switches, Nintendo has got us in their back pocket.
Oh, they always have.
Well, they didn't with the Wii U. I was like, yeah. I'd like the party games, but that was about it. But guys, so obviously we'll wrap up the show. We'll go on to the post show. If you're watching live, don't forget, guys, to leave a comment down below to be able to enter our competition. In fact, I did actually do a little bit of a screenshot of the competition. I'll pop that up there. There we go. So you can actually enter to get the Duel Master starter deck, which is a 2-player one, some plushies, notepad, and a £10 voucher for wherever you wish. So it'll be on PSN, Xbox, or Steam. You can choose. All you need to do is enter, is comment down below. If you already have commented, you've already entered. And we will announce the winner in the post show. So if you're watching live, you get all those extras at the end of the stream. If you're watching in our edited version or on our podcast of the show, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening and watching. But if you want to get all the extras and be able to enter our competition, come and watch us live 8 p.m. every single Wednesday on Mixer, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Is there anywhere else?
Just throw a stone at a social media site.
Exactly. In fact, if you just literally go to a site and we're not on there, just say, why aren't we on there?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. We'll be on there soon.
But guys, so to wrap up the show, Ed, what are you up to in this next week?
Not an awful lot, I'm afraid. Although next Friday, I've got my 24-hour live stream. Although I think it might have to be pushed back to the Saturday because my housemate, who was meant to be away on the Friday and therefore made it easy for me to do the 24-hour live stream, just dropped on me that he's actually not going to be away. So I have to try and rearrange, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but it'll be within
Tell him to be quiet and sit in the corner.
But other than that, I'm working super hard. I'm trying to work on some Do You Remember extra videos that will go as in between mini episodes before like the big main releases. So I've got more episodes like Pokemon Go, Beyblade, Crazy Bones. You've requested things like the 90s Spider-Man and X-Men shows. So I might have to review the Spider-Man one. I'll see, because that's going to require a lot of viewing.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Other than that, it's just going to be, I want to try and stream. I'm doing a lot of streams for Betty Sports at the moment, but in between doing my job, which is super busy at the moment because I just got a new client. So on top of doing my job, doing the Betty Sports streams, trying to do videos and trying to have a life, it's very hard to do like GameHog streams and everything as well. So the 24-hour stream, as well as being a fundraiser for MCM, is also a makeup session for the fact that I haven't been able to stream for a while. And so it's like 24 hours of pure streaming to, make up for it.
Appease the masses.
I just want to say that the Do You Remember like tune was stuck in my head for like 2 days afterwards. I'd walk past my girlfriend in the kitchen and I'd go, do you remember? It's just like, really? And I'm like,
that was like his podcast music though.
That podcast, I've had many requests to bring that back, but it just took a couple of weeks hiatus that turned into the show stopped. So I need to just do the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, the theme tune to that though was so addictive.
I hadn't heard that after. You have to send me a link for that. We totally really dropped into insanity right now. Just when I wake up and go, what the fuck? So, Luke and James, what are you guys going to be doing? Obviously, I know you said you're going to be doing your so you're not going to go for 24 hours, but you're trying to go for as long as you possibly can.
Well, we might do 24 hours. I'm just going to do it a marathon, so it's definitely going to be 12 hours minimum. And then we're just going to keep pushing past that. So I've done 24-hour streams before, so it's likely that it will be, but just so that if I do get like 20 hours in, and then I'm literally like, I need to stop. I can do without disappointing people.
So
we're also preparing for con.
What time will you be starting?
We're going to start at midday, so 12 o'clock midday. So I'm going to be playing for like a couple of hours beforehand anyway, just to get back into the swing of it, because obviously I haven't played since the beta. And then we're officially going to start at 12 o'clock. So
Cool.
Luke's going to be joining me as well, because we both have the day off work, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
What date is it on again?
12.
12.
So it's this Friday.
Friday.
Good stuff.
I'll be definitely jumping in, and I'll be, like I said, I do need to check my gaming PC to make sure it will run Call of Duty. I'll go onto the site of will it run, and hopefully it will. But if it does, I'll be purchasing it on PC, and I will come and join you.
Yeah, sweet.
I
That'd be
will be
amazing.
playing with a controller because I am absolutely diabolical with mouse and keyboard.
That's all right. It does have aim assist with.
I would suggest practice.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, literally, I within about 10 minutes, I have the claw hands, and I'm just like, fuck you.
I was like that.
And now spacebar, jump.
Luke has to look though. That's his biggest problem.
That's what I'm just terrible. I can do mouse and keyboard for MMOs and things like that, but try and do something like as twitchy as a first-person shooter.
It does get
no
hard.
good.
Yeah.
I'd rather
It's
be
muscle memory.
mediocre with the controller than be absolutely dog shit with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. It is muscle memory. It's just it takes a while to get used to it.
See, my aim for Friday will be just to get 1 kill. And that'll be it.
You'll do that.
Done. Lovely.
You'll
Thank
do
you very
that.
much. I'm out. The amount
Just
of
let your team
coaching-
kill.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll try and blow somebody else up and play. I win. But yeah, so pretty much for me, it's going to be getting everything out on Clubit. So obviously at the end of this live stream, what I do is I take up the show, we edit it up, add a few little B-roll footage to make it a little bit more interesting when you're watching afterwards. Obviously, you don't get all the extras, which is the competition, pre-show, or the post-show, but also be doing the topics, and we'll be cutting those up and releasing those onto Facebook and YouTube. So if you don't get to ever watch the live stream, don't worry, you can actually catch up on over at YouTube as well. So don't forget to subscribe over there so you'll be notified on all that sort of thing. So guys, thank you so much. This has been, you know what, fucking awesome. This has been awesome, guys. Seriously, I've really enjoyed it. This has been amazing.
These are always fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
I look forward to next week. It came round so quick this week. And
It finishes too quick as well. This is feels like we
It's
just
already
started.
over.
I was panicking this week because it got to Tuesday and I went, oh god. It's tomorrow. Like, I messaged you guys on WhatsApp and I'm
It's
like,
fine.
still putting the notes together.
It's fine.
So thank you very much, guys. Thank you, everybody. Remember, we're going to be announcing our competition winner. Remember to leave a comment down below if you already have. You've already entered. Thank you so much for everybody. Ed, check him out on GameHog Games. Luke and James, check him out. Luke and James Plays. And check me out at The Geekkeeper. And I will see you all very, very soon. We're going to put the end countdown. Hopefully it'll work properly this time with a little bit of music. You'll still hear us talk. I'm going to go grab a beer. And I'll see you back in 5 minutes.
Bye, Z's!